The idea is that you guys will really be immersed in the science and you will get the science out to the world and bring a spotlight, as it should be, on the second epidemic, which actually in many ways, as Health Minister has shared this morning, has overtaken us in terms of its impact on public health. So I'm not going to spend too much more time. I'm going to start by introducing the two co-chairs. There's a third co-chair, Haley Gettier, from the WHO, but two co-chairs for this inaugural TB 2016. And I'm going to ask them first to make the initial responses, and I'm going to ask Professor Valerie Mizrahi to start. Val comes from the Institute of Infectious Disease and Molecular Medicine in Cape Town. She's a world-renowned TB scientist, and Val, I'm asking you to
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Just to echo the words about the pivotal and actually the historic significance of having this meeting juxtaposed with AIDS 2016, giving this problem of TB, which was epidemic before the advent of HIV, and got so massively exacerbated by HIV co-infection, giving it the visibility that the AIDS community can bring to bear on the problem and help us to start really addressing some of the critical questions. This morning we heard a spectacular set of talks which illustrate how the new science, the new advances in biomedical sciences are being brought to bear on the question of drug discovery and development, being brought to bear on the question of what it's going to take to make new TB vaccines, and the radical way in which the new science has helped us to rethink these age-old notions about the difference between latent TB infection and active TB. I think what was most powerful to me today was to see the juxtaposition between what TAG are saying, the advocacy that's coming around the TB field, what they are saying, the need and appreciating the need for the new TB science to be brought in so that we're going to be able to develop the new tools, which was quite clear at this morning's session. New tools are going to be needed if we're going to meet our targets. That requires science and that requires resource at a level that is much higher than what we've currently got. I want to make a statement very clearly as a South African. South Africa has a major responsibility and a role to play in actually achieving that objective and realizing the goal of tools that need to be discovered, developed, and implemented to tackle this problem. Let me pass over to Jens, who will talk more on the clinical aspects of what we hear.
Yeah, so just for your information, Jens Woodman, second co-chair, comes from Denmark. Copenhagen, has worked on the TB-HIV co-interaction for many years. Yeah.
Thank you. So the situation with TB, as you may be fully aware, is that around 9.5 million people were infected with TB as well as clinical disease, and 1.5 million died as a consequence of the TB infection in 2015. We clearly understand that most of these people can be effectively treated. Around 95 to 97% can be effectively treated with a common 6 months duration of anti-TB medications that was developed back in the 1970s. And as a consequence of that, reduced their morbidity and mortality. This is about implementation, and I'm sure other speakers on the panel will talk on that. What is really important to address, and what we are focusing a lot on during this conference, is the emergence of multi-drug resistant TB. In 2015, there was close to 500,000 people that developed active TB disease where the drug cannot be fully treated with the drugs that we are usually commonly using. And there's only 2 new drugs that have been developed in the last 10 years. One of them, actually both of them, don't have a lot of documented efficacy to them. Much different from what we have in terms of solid science for developing and introducing new drugs in the HIV space. We clearly want to make sure that we stimulate further development of drugs, and at the same time also understand how treatment is actually working in the individual. Usually we have been treating people for 6 months. There was talks today that clearly pinpoints that we should individualize that by better using the technology. Some people probably don't need as much, whereas others may be needing a little longer. And the reason why we had it at 6 months is because this similar to what we have been doing with HIV.
Great. Thanks, yes. And then really to put a little focus on the science, a taste of the science, Dr. Corinne Merle from the World Health Organization will be presenting your data on a new study involving rifampicin, an old drug. Corinne, tell us a little bit about that work.
Thank you for inviting me to present and share our results. As you know, TB is one of the leading infectious causes of death for HIV, people living with HIV. And currently, when a patient is diagnosed with HIV and TB at the same time, the recommended strategy to reduce mortality in this patient is to introduce as early as possible IRT treatment, in addition, of course, to TB, treating the TB disease. And despite that, these patients are dying, and most often the case they are dying from TB. So we look at the problem from a TB angle and try to think, could a more aggressive TB treatment help to reduce the mortality in this population? When you think about TB treatment, the key drug is rifampicin. So what we have tested in the randomized clinical trial is a treatment regime with high dose of rifampicin, 15 mg per kilo instead of 10, associated with an IV treatment after 8 weeks. And we compare this strategy with two treatment strategy as using a standard TB treatment and introducing IV treatment after 2 weeks of 8 weeks. So the patient we recruited in this trial, we worked with the National TB and HIV Program of Guinea, Benin, and Senegal in West Africa. The women's provider was coordinating this study, and it was studied by the ECDP. And the patients we recruited were HIV infected patients, ARV naive, with more than 50 CD4 cell count. What we found is that the mortality overall in this three population, three strategy, was almost similar, but there was an heterogeneity in the result depending on the level of CD4. And when you look at the group population who are most severely suppressed, so the one who have less than 100 CD4 count in our population, then we found an extremely good survival for the patient who are treated with rifampicin compared to other treatments. So of course this is one study, and we need more study about this. But it's, I think, important, and in the first study we look at the problem of TB HIV mortality from a TB angle. And what it shows is that perhaps the current TB treatment for the TB HIV population, in particular the one who are more vulnerable because more suppressed, might not be optimal currently. There might be value of looking at more aggressive TB treatment, like and this may be for further research.
Thanks, Corinne. And our next speaker is Ms. Thokozile Khoma, who is the Executive Director of Facilitators of Community Transformation in Malawi. So Toko is a very effective advocate, and so I really just want to hear your words on this and other slides that's being presented at this conference, Toko.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. First of all, I would like to say that the need for research and development in TB cannot be overemphasized. We already have facts that now we need to move towards having effective tools that can lead us to the end of TB. I will say that for very specific reasons. One of them being that with TB we are seen as communities, we are seen that there's less productivity amongst people who are affected by TB. Because as you know, when someone is ill, and we always talk about TB being a disease of poverty, when someone is ill, they're out of work, and which means it cuts the income in the household. Let alone when you talk of HIV and TB, then someone living with HIV is already has already compromised the community, then the TB HIV co-infection becomes problematic. The other reason is that as communities, we would love to see shortened period of TB treatment, maybe probably going towards 3 months, so that we cut the infection chain in the communities. As you know, it takes about, when a person with active TB can infect over 50
a new approach to this age-old problem. Stop TB partnership in Geneva. And I'm going to ask Joanne, Dr. Carter, just to comment now on this conference and really what the importance of this moment in time is.
So I just want to start by calling out one of the most sobering statistics on TB that we've heard in many years, which is now that TB is actually the world's leading infectious killer, claiming over 4,000 lives every day. So how did we allow this to happen? How has TB climbed the list of killers? You know, you've heard for decades we faced the dearth of new drugs and diagnostics, and we still don't have a vaccine that's as effective as we need it to be in all the ways we need it. You know, especially in Africa, you see TB and HIV fueling each other, and as you've heard, we have this growing global menace in drug resistance. But I would say that these challenges of science and medicine, while really real, are also reflections of the bigger challenge that we face, that I say we face in TB, which is that TB has climbed the list of major killers in no small part because in too many places it's stuck near the bottom of the list of our political priorities. You know, 1 out of every 3 people in TB who don't actually even know how well or if they're being reached by health systems. You know, with TB HIV in 2014, less than half of people on average who were screened for TB, even though TB is the biggest killer of people with HIV. And there's a somewhat $2 billion or more shortfall for implementing the tools that we do have, and at least another $1.3 billion shortfall for scaling up the R&D for the drugs and the diagnostics and the vaccines that we know we need, and also to take forward the basic science to fill the gaps that you heard that we still have in some areas on TB. You know, for the global community, these are modest sums of money, but their lack in TB has been devastating, and we've got to do better. You just heard about the new drugs that we do have in place for the first time in many years, and that's actually really encouraging progress. You know, less than 2 hours as opposed to days or weeks or sometimes months. It's critical progress, but we need much more. We have an NTB strategy. We have a new global plan to end TB.
And as you heard now, is gathering ministers together, even now during this week, to take it further. Dr. Matsuri.
Thank you very much, again, and fellow panelists. I think today I'm very excited, but somehow emotional at the same time. In 2010, I was called the chairperson of the International Board of TB Partnership, but I was a member of the board. I remember how we spent 5 days in Washington trying to workshop each other and find reasons. Why has the world woken up to the state of AIDS and completely forgotten about TB? What is that? What is the missing ingredient? Now, we were doing this 6 years after Nelson Mandela himself said what I said this morning. I want to quote it again. Because in 2004, he said, the world has made defeating AIDS a top priority. And this is a blessing. But TB remains ignored. Today we are calling on the world to recognize that we can't fight AIDS unless we do much more to fight TB as well. I'm excited because at long last I believe that I will ask a question again, why after 21 years? At long last, we are doing it because TB and HIV/AIDS are partners in crime, and so they have to be fought together. So I want to take this opportunity to thank the International AIDS Society for having done this for the first time after 3 years. And I believe every 2 years it will be the same. And this is the only ingredient for success. Yes, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, we'll be launching the African chapter of the Global TB Caucus. Because the global one already exists. I'm co-chairing it, as you know, with a member of parliament from the a young child who unfortunately could not make it today. This property Herbert, Nick Herbert, my friend Nick Herbert, I don't know why I'm suddenly getting cross wires in my head. Nick Herbert, unfortunately, is not here. I wish he was here to see us launching the African chapter. That is to say, we are calling on politicians in the whole world, particularly on the continent of Africa, to have political will and take responsibility for the fight of TB. The scientists have done their work. They are presenting the evidence in front of us. What is left is us as political leaders, leaders of our community, to say, let's take this evidence, let's then apply it to save the world. And that will be done by politicians. And that's the message I'm going to be taking to my colleague on the African continent. Taking into consideration that out of the 22 high-burden countries in the world, 9 are on the African continent. As you know, the spread of HIV and AIDS is on this continent, particularly the southern and eastern part of Africa. So it's a very happy day for me that at long last, that which we've been teaching for many years is actually happening. Thank you very much.
Very much indeed, Dr. Mansour. Just to, again reiterate how important I don't know if people recognize this, but I come from a city in Cape Town. We notify more tuberculosis in my city in 1 year than the whole of the United States of America, Canada, a large part of Europe. So, we have an epidemic of enormous proportion, and I'm very excited that South Africa is leading this not only on the science side, but also politically to make a difference. And so now the floor is open to those of you who would like to ask questions. You can just say which institution you are representing and pose your questions. Thanks so much. Yes.
Hi, my name is Anna Miti. I'm from Zimbabwe. I work for the ZBC. My question is on pediatric TB. And it seems like we focus a lot on TB amongst adults, and yet when we look at TB in children, even in terms of treatment, even in terms of research, it seems like not much is happening there. Would you like to maybe shed more light and answer, and we can come from enormous figures? Thank you.
Yeah, so as you are alluding to TB, especially newborns in the first year or two, is certainly an issue. And although we are not able to prevent that from happening, at least BCG vaccines have been shown to be very effective, particularly in that age period of life. That's one thing. The second thing is, and I think many of the talk today was really coming to this point, that we want to control TB transmission. Most of the transmission happens in adolescents and adults. And therefore, really the end game to TB, we can treat ourselves a long way along the road, but the end game to this would be to have a TB vaccine, and that needs to be effective in adolescents and adults. And that's really what I think the talks today have really crystallized out. That's where we need to focus, in addition to developing new TB drugs and finding the duration of treatment of TB.
You hit the nail on the head though. This is a harder part of the epidemic to sort out. TB disease in children, hard to diagnose, often hard to manage, and that, again, I point you to Mark Catterall, to the talks that Jason Andrews gave this morning, engage with those people, some really important insights coming through now. It was said this morning, and I hope you guys realize in 5 years' time, the vaccine we have relied on for this will be 100 years old, and it's the only vaccine we have. So, again, a huge call for R&D. We have to keep moving this forward. More questions? Yes. Yes.
Yes. The question from Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. TB insurance is not ignored, it's just very difficult. Scientists are trying their best, it's very difficult. Difficult to diagnose, even the treatment, we are still giving them other formulations, which have to be broken. But at the moment, one of the institutions, the medicine patent pool, has been given the job to find if they can do creative formulations. which can be sprinkled on the food, and that work is going on. We are looking forward for the results of that work. So all over the world, people are trying their best about pediatric TB. It's just that it's extremely difficult.
My name is Peter Giesler. I'm from the European AIDS Treatment Group. And I just wonder, I worked in prison in the past on behalf of an NGO, and prison settings are very often described as a breeding ground for tuberculosis. So I just wonder, what is your perspective on that? Are prison health settings enough to enough good extent integrated into the public health services? What more should be done? And how would you describe the responsibility of politicians and governments to treat prisoners and change the environment that infections in prisons don't take place as they do now?
Critical question. Can I just see, I'll ask our minister to respond to that maybe. Yes?
Well, I am responding to it because I don't think it's a problem of scientists. It's a problem of politicians. True, prisons are a breeding ground for TB and also HIV/AIDS anyway. And we know that in South Africa, when we identified the most vulnerable groups, we found the prison to be number one, followed by mine workers, especially in TB mines. I mean, gold mines, not TB. Gold mines, because of the high level of civil dust. And thirdly, in mining communities that stay around the mines. We have specifically instituted a program officially, and we chose Portsmouth prison symbolically, because that's where Nelson Mandela also got his TB, to put up programs to fight TB in correctional services. Now, in South Africa today, every prisoner who goes in is screened. Once they are inside, they are screened twice, and when they go out, they are screened. They are also screened. So, out of the 150,000 inmates, we've already done more. In many countries, we don't want to recognize this fact. We ignore, in the same way as we ignore FMSM, sex workers and people injecting intravenous drug. We pretend that they don't exist. We're trying to ignore people in prison. And I'm advising my colleagues that at United Nations, when we adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the catchword there was no one will be left behind. And the another catchword, all. If you read that document, the word all appears many times. And the word no one will be left behind. So it's foolhardy to leave behind certain people because we characterize them. And we can't leave inmates because when they go out, they will infect others. That's because it has already said. One person can infect 15 others in their lifetime. So it's not in our interest.
Just to say that this is not a problem not only for Africa, and I would love to see the Minister of Health of South Africa talk to his colleagues in Russia and Ukraine, where these problems are tremendously important as well. So I just want to recommend you and acknowledge you for your leadership.
Hi, I'm Tamar Khan from Business Day. I have a question, I think, which will go to the Minister and possibly to Joanne, and it's about the price and the affordability of all these new things that you say are on and hope for more to come on the scientific horizon. How are you going to make the new drugs, the new diagnostics affordable, particularly for the high-burden countries in the developing world?
How are you asking me how we're going to make the drugs affordable? Global.
I think that's the question.
You're
Yes.
going to ask the activists to help you as they did with ARVs.
Yes. Well, Sama, you see, I've been asked this question about affordability many times. Every time we you want to take a further step in HIV, they ask me, is it affordable? Now, I don't know whether I'm being unfair. I've only set a standard answer. Can we afford not to? And I'm asking everybody to say, can we afford not to? I mean, at the moment, for instance, look at the issue of antimicrobial resistance. The investigation has unveiled trillions of rands that will be spent if you don't take action. And one part of that antimicrobial resistance is TB. So just ask that question to leaders, can we afford not to start treating people and not to get rid of TB, seeing what it's going to bring? I believe it's very affordable. We talking to countries, the tabloid was regarded as not affordable, but we tried our best. South Africa is a world leader, 60% of all patients on vitamin are South Africa. So we can expand it. Remember with ARVs, in 2002 we needed $10,000 American dollars just to put, sorry, South African rand, not too much. Just to put one person on treatment for 1 year. Today, out of battles and motivation and all sorts of things, we now need only 1,700. We'll do the same about TB. So I'm quite convinced about it. In South Africa, we've already presented our investment case to Treasury. And when we speak to Treasury, giving them investment cases, they listen. They don't listen when you threaten them and say people are going to die. Then they close their ears. But if you show them the economic gains of doing what they should do, they suddenly listen and it becomes affordable.
I think the question of affordability should not come forward because it's really, really disappointing that we have 3 million untreated cases of TB. And what I would like to say is we are looking at lives of people, 3 million lives. And on top of that, if we say all the 3 million lives will affect 50 more each, then we are looking at a catastrophe. What I want to mention as a whole is that we should rather opt to pay now than pay later because the cost is going to be really huge. From the civil society point of view, from a human rights point of view, each life matters.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. I appreciate this, and thanks very much to you guys for participating. Thank you to the sterling panel. I'm sure they'll also still be around for any further comments or inputs. And please go to the science. It's an extraordinary opportunity to really hear what is the latest and newest in the field. Thanks for coming.